Assalamualaikum everyone. So I'm just basically going to dub over my own video which was in Urdu, and I'm just gonna dub it in English because it's for my YouTube. So I was too lazy to add subtitles, so yeah, I hope this is worth it. Assalamualaikum. So I asked people what should I make a video about, and most of the people told me that make a video on atheism. So that is what I am going to do, and this is it. What are atheists? What do they believe? What do they argue about? That is what I'll try to cover in this video, in their arguments. Okay, so let's begin. So first of all, let's cover what does atheist or atheism even mean. Let's cover what the origins of the word is. So let's get into that. So the origin of this word of atheism is from the Greeks. In Greek, whenever there's a word with an a before it, for example in atheist, it means as in not. And like for example theism, it is a belief, a way of belief, because a means not and theos basically means God, or a means without and theo means God. So atheos would mean without God, and atheism would mean a person who believes that there is no God. So whenever an atheist calls themselves an atheist, they're basically calling them in the Greek way atheist. So without a God, or a person who believes that there is no God. So that's basically the Greek origin. So now that we know what an atheist means, what do atheists say when they say they're an atheist? Most atheists will say that they either disbelieve in God or they straight up know that there is no God. That's the difference between the atheists. So what is the difference that they're saying that one is saying that they know there is no God and the other is saying they believe that there is no God, and the one is saying that they have no belief or no denial? Well, we'll need to look into another word, which is agnosticism. So basically agnostic say that they don't know if there is a God or there is not a God. So what they will say is that they don't make a claim of knowledge, neither do they make a claim of belief. So they don't say that they believe that there is a God or there is no God, neither do they say that they know there is a God or there is no God. So this word comes from the word gnostic, which means to claim knowledge or have knowledge. So basically if someone say that he's a gnostic, it means they have the knowledge. If someone say he's an agnostic, or they are an agnostic or agnostic, it means that they lack that certain knowledge. So the word can be used for anything or any belief, such as it can be used for uh, beliefs regarding any discussion. But when it comes to like the normal term, when if someone calls themselves an agnostic, it means that they are referring to the belief about God, which is that they have no certain belief about God, or there is no certain denial of God. Now, the thing that most atheists do not know is that people can be Gnostic and be an atheist or theist. People can be agnostic and be an atheist or theist. Yes, people can be agnostic. Basically, an atheist or agnostic atheist would be someone who says that they believe that there is no God, but they don't know that there is no God. And someone who is an agnostic theist would say that they believe that there is a God, but they don't know that there is a God. And when someone says they're a Gnostic atheist, they say they know that there is no God. And when someone says that they're a Gnostic theist, they say they know there is a God. And the point here is that when you claim that you have knowledge of anything or any point, then it means that you have the burden of proof. Basically, knowledge needs to be substantiated. So you have a burden of proof when you're saying you are a Gnostic, atheist, or theist. That's why most atheists say that they are agnostic, that they don't know yet, but they believe, which is basically like faith. It just ends up being a faith if you say that you believe without actually knowing it. And that's what many atheists say, that they say that they deny there is a God, or they lack belief in God because there is no sufficient evidence, so they don't have the burden of proof. That I agree with that, and as me myself being a Gnostic theist, I do have the burden of proof. So basically, if you're saying that you know that there is a God or there is no God, you have a burden of proof. It's just simple as that. An atheist saying that there is, he has the burden of proof, and as a Gnostic theist, I have the burden of truth, and I'm fine with that. I'm ready to substantiate that claim. I'm ready to provide proof, but that is a topic for another video. So, as a Muslim, if someone comes up and tells me that I have the burden of proof, I'm fine with that. That's totally fine. That's totally normal. And I'm ready to argue with that. So now we understand what atheist mean and what agnostic means. So let's move on with it. A few example of agnostic or Gnostic atheist would be like Richard Dawkins. I believe he is a Gnostic atheist, if my memory is helping me with me right now. And I believe that Neil deGrasse Tyson is an agnostic atheist, if I remember correctly. I do believe that is correct. So now that that is clear, let's talk about why there is atheism. Basically, the new wave of atheism has started in the West, and it is coming in the East and the South Asian area of Pakistan as well, and India and Bangladesh. It's increasing. It is sad, and people are vulnerable. They don't know how to argue against it, but that is why people need to read about it. And it is sad that people are leaving Islam and becoming ex-Muslim due to it, but it's not that big of a deal because they are easily refutable, especially Pakistani atheists. They say that they are logical and more rational, and they have a higher rational base, which is totally absurd. It's not like that, and people, even Muslims, believe that yeah, they are rational, and they don't want to argue with them. It's not the case. We have valid arguments as Muslim, and we should learn that. Second one will be because of morality. People don't understand teaching. They don't understand why something is good, why something is bad, where morality comes from, and they just are basically, they have a pre-assumption or bias with Western ideology and secularism and their moral standard, and they say that due to it contradicting Islam, it should be false. And then we move on to evolution. People say because evolution is true, then Islam must be false because of Adam and Eve. Well, they have no idea. They have never read a book by Darwin himself. That I'm pretty sure about that, because Darwin himself was a deist. He wasn't an atheist or even an agnostic when he developed the evolution, Darwinian evolution. When he formed that theory, he was still a deist. He believed in God, and then the reason that he became an agnostic, and he never became an atheist, was due to the problem of evil. So, and that was even in his later life. That was not because of evolution. It was due to the problem of evil, as I said. So evolution does not lead to atheism or does not prove Islam, because even science itself is inductive. So now that we know that Darwin himself was not an atheist or an agnostic, we clearly see that even the founder of Darwinian evolution, well, he was not completely the founder himself. Like, there were other co-founders like Russell Wallace, I believe his name was, who became an spiritualist due to evolution. So you can reach different conclusions because of evolution. So, and yes, there are Christian, Muslim, and many other people of different religions who believe in Darwinian evolution, by which I mean human chimp ancestry. So people can believe that and still believe in God. So using that as disproving God is illogical and not consistent. And if an atheist makes this such a point, you should automatically understand that he is being illogical and he doesn't really understand these theories and arguments. So if an atheist or a Muslim becomes an ex-Muslim and an atheist due to Darwinian evolution, they don't understand the scientific method, which is inductive by nature. You can look up the black swan problem and you can see why you cannot really objectively disprove something if the conclusion is reached by the scientific method, because the scientific method itself is inductive in nature. So now that we understand this, I'll be looking and dealing with these questions in depth in further videos. I'll try to keep this as concise. And the next thing will be as in morality and spirituality. People are spiritually dead. They're spiritually dead. It becomes easier for them to follow their desires. And this is one of the reasons that people tend to follow their desires, because when they're spiritually dead, their desires seem as the obvious route and the route that will lead them to the most happiness, and they blame it on rationality. Okay, so I listened to the dub and I have to say it was not good. The dub was not good. It didn't even match. But I really needed to pump out more content in English. I have been busy with creating content in Urdu, which is one this video and one of the Kalam cosmological argument. If you guys want to watch that, you can go and watch it on my Facebook. But that's it for now. I'll try to make more content in English. Ma salama. Thanks for watching.